over the weekend, the biggest news that has happened in a while. We've been talking about it. A U.S. military strike led to the capturing of Venezuelan leader Maduro, Nicolas Maduro, bringing him to the United States, where he currently is in a New York facility awaiting his next court appearance after him and his wife were in court yesterday before a judge. And right now, we are bringing in Dr. Eric Claville, who is a political expert and director of the Center for African American Public Policy, to talk about just all that encompasses this, particularly on the political landscape, as we are hearing a lot from our elected officials and the leaders from across the world. So, Dr. Claville, thank you so much for joining us. I want to first make sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me well?
Absolutely. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year. What a way to start the new year here, right? 3 days in, news that absolutely sent shockwaves internationally. I want to ask you first, what was your reaction to the news that Maduro had been captured and brought into the United States on Saturday, January 3rd?
Well, to be very honest with you, I wasn't surprised that this capture took place. As always, I'm a student of not just law and education and politics, but also history. History tells us the story. This has happened before. If you remember, in 1990, Panama, the capture of Manuel Noriega, the United States, Operation Just Cause, captured him on drug trafficking charges as well. Keep in mind that this administration beefed up our military presence in this part of the world, where we were taking out speedboats that were accused of trafficking drugs from Venezuela into the United States or other parts, eventually going into the U.S. And we were doing that through the military. There were many signs that showed that this was going to happen. So it's not surprising, but at the same time, it is alarming.
You use the word alarming there. Why so? Why do you use that word?
Well, if you take a look in less than a year of this administration, and I've said this before in conversations with colleagues, and I'm using it on air and commentary, but the United States in less than a year has gone from the world police to, some say, the world bully. And basically, we're the biggest show, we're the biggest and baddest on the block. If you take a look, not just at what has taken place in Venezuela, but remember, we flew halfway across the world and dropped bombs in Iran. This has never been done before, and flew back. We also bombed Nigeria as well on Christmas. And also, again, supplying and working with Ukraine as well, and other conflicts. But Venezuela is just the next. Now, our president has said in a press conference yesterday, he's warned other countries also in Trump-esque form, also quoting one of our hip hop artists, Biggie Smalls. If you don't know, now you know. So, now we're finding ourselves in a position where the world is taking a look, sitting back, and asking ourselves, who is the United States now? What is our identity? If you notice the muting or the muted responses from world leaders outside of the region, or some very calculated responses by some, really shows that many are really sitting back and waiting to find out, exactly who is the United States under this administration in the world, on the world scene.
One of the big questions that's been asked by a lot of the critics of this, and I say critics because we'll get into the critics who are also speaking of Maduro, right? We'll get into that in a little bit. But one of the big questions is this legal? Constitutionally, is there legality for this to take place?
Well, to be very honest with you, I've been unpacking a lot of this layer by layer over the days. I haven't really delved into the legality of it. However, there have been some that have called for the United States to adhere to international law. But once again, we have found that this has happened before. I mentioned 1890, Panama, Manuel Noriega. Let's not forget also in the early 2000s, that was under George H.W. Bush. In the early 2000s, under George Bush, the son, we saw the same thing in Iraq with Saddam Hussein, where we went in and captured a world leader and occupied the country. So, again, I haven't unpacked layer upon layer, but the charges and this person being indicted in our federal court on narco terrorism, uh, for other charges with drug trafficking and the like, shows that this individual, this sitting president, is going to stand trial in the United States. So there is some legality there, but as it relates to our actions in going into the country, capturing this individual, and the president announcing that we're going to stay and run the country for a while. Let's not also keep in mind that Venezuela has the largest known to man oil reserves in the world as well. So, that also plays a part. So, again, this is a lot to unpack. A lot is happening in this administration, is happening very fast, very swiftly. And the world is sitting up and taking note and taking stock. And right now, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are calling for more transparency. Once again, Congress was not notified of this at all. One of our U.S. senators here in the Commonwealth of Virginia is once again preparing legislation in order to help check the war powers of any sitting president, not just this one. So again, a lot of questions being asked right now, a lot of going back and forth through policies in our country that are not just decades old, but hundreds of years old, to determine where we stand as a country on the world scene. But at the end of the day, we're a sovereign nation, and we have the right to defend ourselves against those that we feel encroach against us.
Right now we're taking a look on our end of the view of the Colombia-Venezuela border amidst all of the apprehension with the indictment of Nicolas Maduro. You were just mentioning that, Dr. Claville. I want to get to the question. I was kind of getting ahead of myself a few moments ago. This is a very interesting situation politically, particularly here in the U.S., because you have a lot of people, including on both sides of the aisle, who have said that Maduro is a bad actor, not good for the people of Venezuela. A lot of people in South America, in that country, that have been celebrating that he's no longer at the helm for this moment. But you also have critics who have said that they have an issue, as you have alluded to, with how this all has taken place and what happens from here. Politically, what thought have you given to how this could impact politics here in the U.S.? We know that the midterm elections are going to be huge here in the United States. Is this something that will factor into all of that?
To be very honest with you, I don't think it will factor that much. Again, I believe that right now, given the passage of the last budget reconciliation bill, which is known as the popular name, the Big Beautiful Bill, and critics of it call it the Big Ugly Bill. We're going to start to see the impacts of that starting January 1st. We've seen some of it. Some will take place July 1st and others a little further down. So I believe that the major impact that's going to really impact midterm elections is going to be economic. Now, in the event that we get involved in another world conflict and the administration is not able to create a narrative around it where the country will support it, keep in mind, we are war fatigued. You have a lot of veterans that voted not to get back into conflicts. We just ended with the longest conflict we've ever had in Afghanistan. I mentioned 2003 when we captured Saddam Hussein there in Iraq, and we fought there as well. And now we have these conflicts that we are actively engaging in under this administration. So that will be a small bit of it from our veteran standpoint, our military support standpoint. But I believe the midterm elections ultimately will be around two things: economic issues and our democracy, with this president expressing and utilizing extreme presidential powers.
This is going to be something we're going to be talking about for quite some time. And obviously, as we look to see how that actual trial goes with Maduro and others. And we listened in yesterday to the UN Security Council and all of the international leaders sharing their words as well. So be sure that we're going to bring you back, Dr. Claville, for this and other conversations too. But we appreciate you taking the time today, just on the initial 72 hours after all of this, to kind of break down some things that give us a little bit of context to the history behind all of this. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Eugene.